Guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over an article titled How to Marry a Rich Man, 9 Easy Steps. And guys, this whole article is essentially a how-to guide on how to be a gold digger. No joke. And obviously, to no surprise, this article is written by a woman, and she's going to go into all these details on how women who want to be with a rich guy they can benefit from all the resources and milk him for everything it's worth, where they can go to find a rich guy, what they can do to lure him in, so to speak, things that rich guys are looking for, all these different things, the basically how-to guide to find a rich guy, okay? And so I'm doing this because for all you guys out there right now that are busting your butt on your purpose to trying to improve yourselves and make something yourselves, which essentially is also making money, you got to pay attention to this. I don't think I have any billionaires watching me, but I know I have millionaires watching me. And so for you guys that have money, I'm sure a lot of these things you're not surprised about, especially if you watch this channel regularly. Nothing surprises you in that department. But also for you younger guys that, again, are busting your butts, you're starting your own businesses, you are working hard to rise in the companies you work for, you're putting away your money, you're investing it in the right places to build wealth. Believe me, eventually you're going to start buying your toys. You're going to start buying the cool cars, dressing better, all that, things that are going to show status, and it's going to attract a certain type of woman. Now, I'm not saying all women are like this, but I will say that pretty much I've never met a woman that doesn't like a guy with money. So you got to be careful. And this is a perfect example that there are literally instruction guides on how to rope a guy like you, and they don't give a crap about who you are. They want the money. So I'm going to get into this, guys. A lot of details here. So it starts off, and again, this is a woman writing this, obviously. It says, "We all dream of being rich and being able to afford a luxurious lifestyle. Unfortunately, most of us lead pretty ordinary lives. It doesn't matter how hard we work, we're never going to be rich. But there's one thing you can do, and that's to marry a rich man." There you go. You know, I gotta laugh when I hear this thing like, we live ordinary lives, and it doesn't matter how hard we work, we're never going to be rich. That's the mindset that most people have, both men and women. The reality is, yes, you got to work hard, obviously, to become wealthy, but you got to work smart. But this idea that it's never going to happen to us, guess what? Here in the United States, there's plenty of opportunities, just people don't realize it. And I don't want people coming on here and saying that's not true. Yes, it is true. It really isn't that hard to build wealth in this country if you're smart about it. The problem is people are generally really stupid with their money and don't educate themselves early on how to build wealth. And of course, they don't have any mentors that can guide them along the way. But if you're smart about it and you put your money in the right places and you have some guts and you take some calculated risks, you can do well for yourself. I'm not saying you're going to become a billionaire, but you can definitely become a multimillionaire later in life. Seriously. It goes on. You might think to yourself, how am I ever going to find someone with lots of money? Let alone one to marry me. I don't mean people who are millionaires every day. Well, I have to tell you, it will take some effort. You're going to have to put in the hard work and research. But see this as your real job for the next few months and years. So in other words, instead of putting in the time and research to actually building this wealth yourself, you're going to have to put the time and research to find some sucker and sucker him into thinking that you're into him and milking him for all his resources. Imagine if that effort that this woman is recommending that these women do was put towards themselves. But it's easier just to try to milk somebody else. Finding a wealthy man to marry, you can appear overwhelming at first. Where do you even start? The thing is to break it down into a plan. If you're serious about making a attainable goal, then this is what you will be investing your time and effort in. Before you start prepping your plan, it's important to keep a few factors in mind. What are wealthy men looking for? Rich men are looking for several things in women we are going to marry. Number one, they want the best. They want the very best woman. These guys want the most beautiful, the sexiest, the most intelligent, funny, and family-oriented woman. Well, I'll agree they absolutely want the best when you obviously are super wealthy and done extremely well for yourself and you can get the finer things. Yeah, you want all those qualities. But how many women possess, like what she listed here, all those qualities? But at the end of the day, someone that's young, hot, plenty of things. Number two, they want heirs. They want someone to provide heirs to their fortune. They may want a sexy woman, but they also want a morally sound woman to give them children. How morally sound is the woman who is going to plot and scheme to meet this guy and milk him for everything it's worth and not give a crap about him, but just obviously his money and resources? What kind of morally sound woman is that, right? Number 3, they want the full package. They want the full package. Organized homebodies to look after the children and the house, but women that can also dazzle on a night out. Now it goes into 9 steps to marrying a rich man. Number 1, here we go with the instruction guide. Number 1, work on yourself. If you want to marry a rich person, you have to fit into their world. Rich people are used to finest wines, designer clothes, the best cars, and the biggest houses. You might not have any of those things, but you do have yourself. You can make the most of what you got. Now, you might think, hang on, I'm not changing the way I look for any bloke. Listen to the sense of entitlement here. This is an instruction guide on how to be a gold digger, an instruction guide on how to land a guy like that and rope him in, but now she's saying about the whole, I'm not going to change for anybody. Makes no sense. If this woman is obviously trying to mold women to find these type of guys, they're obviously going to have to change something about themselves if they don't already have a guy like that. Or you might think, hand me the phone so I can call my cosmetic surgeon. I'm not saying either way, it's right. If you want to put yourselves in a rich person's shoes for a few minutes, I want you to put yourself in a rich person's shoes for a few minutes. You meet someone for the first time. Their hair is greasy, their teeth are yellow, and they're grossly overweight. Their clothes are dirty, every other word is a cuss word, and they have no social graces. Okay, that's a bit of an exaggeration. What I'm saying is, people like those who make an effort. So get your teeth fixed if they need to be. A good haircut and color go a long way. Clean, classic clothes really do make the difference. Being polite and socially aware stands out these days. A toned body shows you are serious about your health and well-being. Wear a natural makeup that accentuates your good features. So here we go. Get your body looking good. The first thing she says, notice this, the first thing she says is get your looks in order. Get your body looking good in shape, hair, makeup, nails, all that stuff, clothes, all that. Because she's admitting it right here, the first way to get to our attention are looks. Number 2, do your research. Once you've prepared yourself and honed your body language skills, it's time to get down to the research. Think about where you want to end up living in the world. It's no good traveling to remote areas to find the one and then expecting to come back to your hometown to settle down. So decide if you want to stay in your native country or go abroad. You might want to think about holiday destinations. Where do rich men tend to vacation? If you don't need to book a room in an expensive hotel, you can show up at the bar. Unbelievable. If you're really dedicated, you can get a job at a fancy restaurant or hotel where rich guys frequent. You can look at wealthy cities as Hong Kong, New York, Paris, or Singapore, or examine industries like tech or oil and find out who the players are. So your average girl that doesn't have any money and nothing going for her is going to move to Hong Kong, New York, or Paris, or Singapore and get a just average job. How's she going to pay the bills? And in hopes in just a few years of her prime years in her 20s, she can find one of these guys? Don't forget, there are also events around the world that attract the rich and famous. Think about fashion shows, sporting events, big tech giants revealing new products, brand launches, restaurant openings, etc. Again, I don't think any of these girls are going to go to Monaco, where they have that big race every year that you saw in the movie Iron Man 2, if you know what I'm talking about here. I've been to Monaco. It's awesome, but also expensive as all hell. So I can't imagine some of these average girls that are waitresses who are trying to rope a rich guy being able to go there and pay the bill for the hotels. Or just simply live there for a little while and work, hoping to get one of these guys that get off their yachts. Number 3, choose your target. Notice she says the word target, because these guys are targets to these women. When you are choosing your target, keep in mind how he made his money. This is because you're going to be involved in that world from now on. So if you hate motor racing, don't go after Lewis Hamilton. If golf isn't your thing, forget Tiger Woods. Obviously, I'm aiming high for you with these names, but you get the idea. If you bag a rich guy, at least you can do is support him in his work. So think carefully about where you're going to find him. Hang around the celebrity hotspots that you enjoy. Visit prestigious events that you are passionate about. Get jobs in high-paid industries that you're interested in. So again, your average girl who's been majoring in women's studies in college is also going to get a job in a high-tech line of work to attract wealthier guys. Not a whole lot. Got to do a little better planning than this, lady. Number 4, join a matchmaking site for rich people. If you want to marry someone with money, then one of the easiest ways of getting introduced to a rich man is to join an exclusive dating agency. You'll need to look for ones that cater to wealthy clients or sites that only accept certain types of people. So in other words, if I'm not mistaken, these sites are meant for obviously wealthy people to connect with other wealthy people because they like to have somebody in the same tax bracket because they obviously realize someone else might try to milk them for everything it's worth. So she's basically telling whoever these women that are going to read this and want to find a rich guy and are taking her seriously to go onto these sites and be a fraud, pretend you're obviously wealthy or someone you're not, to rope one of these suckers in. For example, some dating sites give you clues from their names. They will include 2 words, millionaire, elite, or sugar daddy, on their website. You can also research from the internet the best way to present your dating profile. Learn what kind of profile pictures get the most views. What kind of language to use when describing yourself. Research what kind of hobbies attracts rich men and what turns them off. Clearly she has a little experience in this. At least that's what she thinks. Number 5. Practice good manners and show gratitude. Of course, it's not just about how you look. Yes, it is. Looks do matter, and there are rich guys that are looking for an arm candy to show off. But many wealthy guys want a partner, with someone going on behind the boobs and lip gloss. If they want a partner, it's going to be somebody else in their world, from their world, an equal, so to speak, that obviously has done very well for herself, blah, 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 same tax bracket, you know it. Not a girl that majored in women's studies and is now and she's 22 and she's hot and she's looking for, a lot of guys want arm candy, and if she's hot, that's one thing, but to actually have to get serious with. But also, let's be honest with you, there are a lot of guys out there that have money and are completely clueless. Okay? Oh, she really likes me. No, she doesn't. She likes your wallet, dude. They're looking to marry someone that stands out from all the plastic Barbie dolls out there. Sure. This is where you can make a rich man notice you. First of all, don't make yourself too available. I'm not saying to be rude and standoffish or refuse a drink from him, but don't initiate phone calls and definitely don't sleep with a guy on the first date. There you go. Good manners and being grateful are huge turn-ons for wealthy people. Don't forget, a lot of these guys have made their money the hard way. Yeah, they made their money the hard way in terms of obviously starting companies, risking everything, working probably 100-hour weeks, all those things. Everybody pretty much telling them they're going to fail. And also working smart, and just they can hand over to you that's just as a vulture circling to pick the bones off these guys. They worked their way up and have come from working class backgrounds. Showing appreciation by saying thank you to the waiter or remembering to tip the driver will cement their feelings for you. Well, I would imagine that she would do this anyway as a decent human being. Number 6, learn body language techniques. There are a few really good body language techniques that can put you ahead of the game when it comes to your competition. For example, did you know that the waitress that touched their customers briefly on the arm received much higher tips than those that didn't? Well, it might interest you to know that Matt Damon's future wife was working as a waitress when she met him. Well, I don't know, I forget how old this article is, but he's a damn moron in my opinion if he's marrying a girl as a waitress. Nothing against waitresses, but the point is, you're Matt Damon, unbelievably wealthy. I don't know what his supposed net worth is, and a girl that's a waitress. Okay, I don't care how smoking hot she is. He's risking a lot. I don't care how many prenups he has and all the other precautions he takes. I think that's crazy. And by the way, how she's mentioning how the waitresses can touch you a certain way and their tips will go up. Guys, little tip here in case you haven't figured this out. When it comes to women that have jobs in the service industry, they make money off your tips, or they make a commission off you if you buy a car or an expensive watch or I don't know what. Do not think that them being friendly with you and even flirting with you means that they like you, okay? They're doing that, generally speaking, to get you to give them a bigger tip or that you'll buy something so they get the commission, okay? A lot of guys fall for this thing and they end up getting screwed over. I had a buddy about 14 years ago. He'd go to this restaurant on occasion. It was a nice restaurant on the water. He was a loner, so he was there. He'd have a meal, read a book, and there was this waitress there. He said that, in his opinion, that liked him, right? He was really convinced that she liked him. And he wanted to ask her out. And I said, dude, she's all about the tips. That's it. Well, he didn't listen to me. A day or two later, he shows up at her work with either flowers or a flower, like a single rose or something, and she shoots him down right there. And I mean pretty abruptly, okay? And he admitted that, yeah, obviously he was wrong. But the point is that, See, she was just flirting with him, trying to get a better tip. End of story. And so for you guys there that think, just keep that in mind. Waitresses, bartenders. I'm not saying they're all that way, but this weekend I was buying a new watch, and I was in the jewelry store, right? And the girl that was working with me, she obviously makes money on the sale. She makes commission, and she was very friendly with me and all that, and she was a cute girl, probably about 25 years old. But that didn't mean that she liked me, right? And the day after I bought the watch, I got an email from her on behalf of the company thanking me and all that, and be sure to call or stop by if you have any questions or need anything. That doesn't mean that she liked me. It meant that she was hoping I'd come back, because obviously I spent some money when I bought that watch, and then I would then come back and buy more stuff. That's it. Anyway, goes on, mirroring is another body language technique. It simply means copying the other person's actions. When we mirror another person, they feel a connection to us, and they start to warm to us. It also can be incredibly revealing if you see someone mirroring your actions. It shows that they like you. It gives you an added advantage and a signal to step up your attention on the person. For example, did you know that the waitress that touched their customers briefly on the arm received much higher tips than those that didn't? Well, it might interest you to know that Matt Damon's future wife was working as a waitress when she met him. It seems like they wrote the same paragraph twice. Okay, my bad. Goes on. Yeah, they actually wrote more here on here. Yeah, they were copying. I obviously didn't see this one part of the article, and they were writing. They show different parts of the article twice. Okay. It goes on here. I've already talked about Matt Damon, but it's simpler than that. Surgeons marry operating staff. Pilots date cabin crew. Managers go out with their clerks. We date people we get to know every day. We rarely walk up to strangers and just ask them out. Number 8. Don't be all about your looks. Okay, you may think this is a contradiction. One minute I'm telling you to sort your teeth out and get your hair done. The next I'm saying don't be obsessed about your looks. What I mean is, don't be conceited or high maintenance about your looks. Of course, your rich man is going to want to show you off. However, he won't want you demanding the most expensive furs or a pair of Manolo, I can't pronounce this, before you even step into the limo. A woman with a laid-back natural beauty is much more appealing and sexy. Yeah, well, a lot of these guys like buying the jewelry and stuff for their women so that can make them look good. Let's be honest here. But yeah, it is about the looks. Number 9, have your own life. There are subtle signs we all give off to tell others we are well-balanced human beings. One of them is that we have our own interests and passions. Another one is that we have a strong circle of friends. We should always have close bonds with our family. A good work ethic combined with a steady job is another one of those signs. These are clues that we are responsible and good dating material. Now it goes into frequently asked questions about this whole thing. Number 1, how do you get a rich man to fall in love with you? You have to remember that rich men had the pick of the crop, so women have to make themselves into exactly what they're looking for. In other words, be a big fraud and do the bait and switch. Because once they get that ring on their finger, and oftentimes it isn't just a ring on the finger, then they will obviously have children, because those children are walking, talking insurance policies that they split up. Mama gets a big payday. Rich guys want the best, someone who looks good and will be a good mother. An organized person who will support them and look after the home and children. Another question is, how do I attract a rich husband? You can attract a rich husband by being the best version of yourself. You can present yourself as something they want and need. Rich people want to be supported. They are also concerned about leaving behind a legacy in the form of children, so they're looking for a suitable mother. Another question, how can I marry a millionaire man? There are dating sites that cater to millionaires, but some of them restrict membership to those earning over a certain amount. Looks are important, but rich men are knowledgeable and will be attracted to like-minded women. Well, duh, and that's good that those websites obviously have some restrictions, but obviously people can find ways to get around them. Another frequently asked question, how do I date a rich man? Dating a rich guy is not as easy as you think. Women have to be pretty submissive as they have all the wealth and power. Notice that part there. They have all the wealth and power, so the women got to be submissive. So this is why guys, you obviously want to be holding all the cards. You want to be the dominant one. You might be labeled a gold digger. You will find there are a lot of hangers-on, and you may get jealous. You don't want to make any decisions, and the guy can be very needy. Another question, what age are men most attractive? Now listen to this. Men's attractiveness peak at around age 50. Just think of the actors like George Clooney, Brad Pitt, and Tom Cruise. It is said that men are like fine wines. The older they get, The older they get, the better they are. Women, on the other hand, peak at just age 18. So pretty much right there, she just agreed to that saying that men age like fine wine and women age like milk. Right there. I'm not making this up. You can read it. That's what she pretty much said. To sum it up, have you ever dated or married a rich man? How did it work out? Do let me know. I'd love to hear your story. If you found this article helpful, please do share. So there you go, guys. That is the instruction guide to helping these girls find and rope in and trick and bait and switch a rich guy, okay? There are those out there. So again, for you guys that obviously do well for yourselves, you got a lot of money, you obviously, enjoy the fine things, you got the nice toys like the car, the clothes, the great house, vacations, all that stuff like that, fancy watches, sunglasses, whatever happens to be, that are going to be noticeable. Be aware there are women who are going to be after you. They're going to be paying attention to all those things and to try to get with you just for your money. So you'll be extremely careful. And also to you guys that are up and comers, that are on your purpose, starting businesses, building a good life for yourself, rising in your companies, whatever. Be aware of these things, okay? It does happen. I don't want you guys going to be roped in and suckered and then taken for half of everything you got, because you weren't paying attention to the red flags, okay? So just understand that. So, all right, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And, guys, for any of you guys out there that obviously do well for yourselves, that have money, share some stories. Just a brief paragraph of things you may have experienced in this regard, things to watch out for, because guys are going to read this. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.